All right. This is Pioneer Tea. We are hanging out in the proverbial hot tub, I guess, of information on campus. Jet let me introduce the podcast, so I guess I also have to say it's Mrs. Russell. And we have a topic for today.
Yes, we have a topic. We're going to be speaking about teachers' lives outside of school.
Which is, totally ironic that you pick me for this, because I have no life.
Why would you say you have no life?
Well, okay, so think about it. It's just me and my husband and my dog, right? So I go to school, I come home, you always greet the dog first. Always.
Number one rule.
Exactly, because she's so happy. And then, we make dinner and we watch cartoons, and then, we send each other, seriously, he'll send me, I think the other day sent me, 70 TikToks. And he's like, can I watch them with you? Can I watch them with you? We're, sitting there stretched out on the couch. I'm squished up on the side. And he's like, oh, my God, let's watch. So then he has to, he wants to rewatch all of the TikToks that he sent me.
He's just they're so funny. I need to watch them twice. And I need to see your reaction for this.
Yes, exactly. And, It's so funny because all of the TikToks about stuff like that is, it's the wife who wants to watch it. And I'm like, babe, what?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Everyone's like, oh, I volunteer, and I do this, and I do this. And I'm like, okay, cool. I coach video games and watch anime and, play with my dog.
I say that's still a pretty interesting life, though. I say you still do stuff outside of school. I mean, you do esports.
I do esports, but by that, I mean, I hand off controls to, Taryn and my team captains, and I'm just the one making sure that, it all goes online the way it should.
Okay.
Because really, there's one of me in, 4 games on any given day.
True.
So then I go home and... Actually, we don't watch anime right now. We watch Letterkenny, which... There's language in it. It is mature language, but it is a good show otherwise. And that's one of the ones we watch. But, oh God, what were we talking about the other day? There was something really good.
I think, what did we talk about yesterday?
Oh my God, dance, anime.
Oh yeah, dance. You taught dance. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
How long did you teach dance?
So I only taught it for one, we call it a dance year, because it kind of starts outside of the regular school year and it can go into the summer. But it was the year that we were all teaching at home.
Mm-hmm.
So the current seniors freshman year.
Oh.
And I was, stuck at home all day, and I'm like, I need to get out of the house. I need to do something. I'm staring at my computer and my iPad all day. So I actually taught tap to, 9 through, 12-year-olds.
Oh.
Because I danced for 13 years.
What were those 13? Was it, private lessons, or was it,
It was a studio.
actual, dance?
Oh, yeah,
at school?
Actually at a studio, in, ballet class, blah, blah, blah. And then, we didn't have a dance team here yet. We didn't have a dance program at all.
Oh.
Yeah, so this was kind of the last few years before all the schools got their program. We were all over at Redwood.
Oh.
Which made Cowhide real interesting. Because,
I bet.
Well, I'd have to, hide my costume in my duffel bag and, be on the Whitney side, woo, go team! We're not losing as bad as we could be! And then, sneak over to the other side and, have to explain to security, because, there's literally security at Cowhide games.
Security.
And be like, I'm here for the dance team, and I have to show them my Redwood jacket that I was hiding under another jacket, and go over there and change and perform during their halftime show,
mm-hmm.
and then come back to the Whitney side.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
So you were taking dance classes at Redwood,
mm-hmm.
but you went to Whitney.
Yeah. So there was a couple of us actually, and it would be pre-first and first period because it was a block. Then we'd walk over here and then start our day second period through the rest here.
Wow.
So between the studio and that, it gave me enough qualifications to teach tap class. And that's what they were looking for anyway. I would do anything but hip-hop because I'm a little too white for that one. I have no problem admitting it. I am too much of an awkward white girl.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, and then yesterday, the Syncopated Ladies video that I showed you,
mm-hmm.
The ones that were tapping to Beyonce.
Yes.
Oh, they're so cool.
They are. They are. That video was wow.
Yeah.
That was cool.
For people who are dance fans, you can find them on, whatever platform, but YouTube is usually the easiest. Mm-hmm. Syncopated Ladies. And they do all kinds of stuff, usually to Beyonce. They did a whole, her halftime show where she had the yellow sweatshirt and stuff like that.
Yeah, that one?
They did a whole routine based off of that.
Wow.
And like they had the yellow sweatshirts too.
That's cool. That's commitment.
Yeah,
That's
that was cool. So,
yeah.
But like there's that, and then there's like teaching first time like 9-year-old tappers, and like it was weird. We used Daft Punk. It was cool. It was a good time, but
was it a little awkward for your first year teaching tap, or like how'd you feel about it?
I mean, it's awkward because I'm used to high schoolers. And anyone that was high school aged at the studio, generally speaking, was already a teacher there because they had been there for so long.
Oh, wow.
So I'm teaching, like 9, 10, 11-year-olds. And I'm like, this is so weird. Like, there's only 5 of them in the class. I'm used to, think about classes here. There's like 30 of us.
Yeah, there's a lot of students in one class.
Yeah, so I'm like, 30, down to 5. People who are taller than me. Very small little small children. And like, it was weird, but oh my god, I love it.
Wow. I have a question.
Yes.
How were their, like, reactions to tap? Like, what got them into tap because of, like, how small they were? Was it, like, their parents? Or, like, what would you say was the main reason they got into tap?
A lot of people that age, by the time they get to, like, that point in dance class where they're still, like, 9, 10, 11 years old, they're dancing because they want to. Like, the ones where their parents want them in it are usually, like 5 and under, like 6 and under.
Wow.
Yeah, because, like, they're so small, right?
Yeah.
And these girls, they're like, oh, well, I had, like, a gap in my schedule before, like, my jazz class or, like, after my hip-hop class. And so they're just like, might as well while they're, like, waiting for their next class to start.
Just do something else? Like, just to, like, join another class?
Yeah,
like,
just to join another class. Because, like, at some point, like, when dance is something that you're doing, like, every single day after school, sitting in the studio for an hour feels really weird when you're not doing anything. And so, like, that's something I absolutely would have done. Would have been like, oh, hey, like, there's a jumps and turns class, and I have an hour and a half. It's 45 minutes. Like, I can do that and eat dinner. So, like, that's... I mean, they're there because they want to, not because their parents are, like, pushing them into it,
Yeah, so they're just, like, to have fun, to learn stuff, and then whenever they just have, like, that big gap of time, they're just like, I want to fill that in. Yeah. Just so I'm not, like, doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, or, like, especially because it was COVID, like, you couldn't really hang out in the studio, like, in the community spaces. Mm-hmm. So if you had to wait between class, like, there's people who their parents would have to be there, like, in the parking lot, and you, like, have to go wait in the car, like, with your mom. Before your next class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know people did that.
Dance studio in a COVID time is real weird.
That does sound weird. That sounds like a weird schedule.
Yeah.
How long were you teaching?
Just the 1 year. That is, like, to put it politely, it's the year that I, like, learned professional boundaries. Because I was like, no, like, I'm here for just my job, and, like, I'm not going to be held responsible for all this other nonsense. So... I guess this is the part where I'm a teacher and say, learn your boundaries, kids, because, like, it is super important.
That's true.
And, like, I wish I could have stayed, but it just didn't work out. And then coming back, then we're like, hey, esports, and I'm the only one crazy enough to coach it. So, there we go.
Wow. That's cool. How many years would you say you were teaching, like, school-wise?
Oh my god, you're gonna make me do math. Oh my god, I can't, I can't do math. Well, let's see, I started in 2016, so I think this is year 8. So, like, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24. Yeah, so this is year 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you teach at any other schools before this?
I taught Valley Oak for 2 years.
Valley Oak?
Mm-hmm. In
Is
7th
that
grade.
An elementary school? Oh, middle school.
Well, the way credentials work is you can only teach elementary up to, like, maybe 7th, depending on the school, or you can only do middle and high school.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's just because, like, the classes you have to take for that. So I did 7th grade for 2 years, and then I came here. I've done a mixture of freshmen and sophomores, or just freshmen ever since.
Oh. What college did you go to get your teaching degrees?
So I didn't go to college to be a teacher.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, I feel like we've probably talked about this, but...
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So I went to San Francisco State. Mm-hmm. And, I guess this kind of counts as, like, life outside of teaching. I got my degree in communication studies. And I picked it literally because when you look at, like, the list of jobs that you could have for a degree, because it was right after, like, the 2007-2008, like, economy crash.
Yeah.
It had the longest list.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. So I picked that. And then I went and became a media officer for 3 years. And then I left that to go into teaching. And I was literally, like, teaching during the day. And then at night, I would be in night school 2-3 days a week to do my teaching classes.
Oh. So you were in school while you were teaching?
Yeah, I was in school learning to be a teacher while I was teaching during the day.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting schedule.
We don't live in Make Sense Land. So yeah, there was that, and then I guess this is where we come back to, like, the lives of teachers. Finally, roundabout everything. When I was done with that, then I finally had more free time, and, like, my husband was in the Navy, so he was, like, gone, so it was just me and the dog, hence lots of dog time, and, like, lots of anime time, and I feel like Taryn is going to get really mad at me if I don't mention, like, the one anime that we have in common. Like, I know Sword Art Online gets so much crap from so many people.
It does.
But it's so good.
It is. Okay, yeah, it is. It's good to a certain level, but I feel like it's a good beginner.
Yeah, like, it's not god tier anime by any level, because, like, it's not Full Metal Alchemist. That will always be, like, even now, even in 2023, it's in the top 10 list of animes.
Wow.
Seriously, I checked the list, like, the other week. After we talked about this for the first time. But, like, Sword Art Online is one of those things where, like, you could, in theory, have an entire, like, college class about it. Because, like, there's this whole era of weird college classes. Like, a school in Texas had a whole class on Lady Gaga.
Oh.
And another school had a whole Harry Potter class.
I feel like people would actually attend those, though. I feel like they would.
Yeah. Well,
like, they were made for a reason.
They were. Like, I didn't have that, but we had an entire class where all the literature we studied was about vampires.
Wow.
We got to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer for homework.
As homework?
As homework.
You got to watch that?
Like, literally, we were assigned a certain number of episodes a week. Like, specific episodes to watch.
That's...
Because it was all about, like, humanity's fascination with, like, immortality and all that stuff.
Okay. That's cool. That's actually really cool, though.
It was trippy, and I'm pretty sure the teacher actually was a vampire. She looked like it.
She looked like she was a vampire.
Ankle-length skirt, and, like, the Victorian boots, and, like, the hair kind of, like, pulled up in, like, the old silver clip. And
Did she teach night classes only?
No, it was during the day. So, like, that kind of ruins that for you.
It's a little giveaway, but
I feel like it was cloudy. I mean, if she sparkled, I didn't know.
If she sparkled, you didn't know?
Exactly.
You couldn't tell?
No clue.
Oh.
But, yeah, like, weird classes, weird all that nonsense, and then I had a point about Sword Art. I swear I did. Oh my god, I used it in class the other day.
You did?
I literally, like, there was some extra credit assignment that we had from, like, one of the freshman readings, and it was talking about, like, the cultural differences, like, exploring, one of the standards is, like, exploring cultural differences, and I'm like, guys, this is when being a nerd helps. Oh my god. So I start listing off, I'm like, no, you don't understand, like, there is so much that, like, we as, like, your stereotypical, like, quote-unquote, like, brash Americans, like, take for granted. And I'm like, this is why it's such a big deal when they hold hands! Oh my god! And they're looking at me like, are you crazy? I'm like, shut up, I watch a lot of anime.
You know what? That's valid, though. That's
valid. Like, it's not, I don't watch the, I'm gonna get so much crap for this. I have not watched Attack on Titan.
You have not?
No, it's the art style. I can't.
You can't?
I can't.
It's good, though. It's good. I feel like if you really follow the storyline, it's good, but if you just get confused in the middle of the season, I feel like
But if I can't look at it without wanting to punch the screen because the art style bothers me so much.
What would you say is a good art style, then, that you would watch?
I mean, you can't go wrong with, like, late 2000s, so, like, the Full Metal Alchemist art style. Maid-sama actually was pretty good.
That was a good one.
And, like, no one talks about that one anymore.
Yeah, I feel like that one got, like, so much, like, less attention than I thought it would.
Yeah, well, it only got one season. And then, like, Fruits Basket, but, like, the most recent version. Not the, like, 2004.
That one's good.
Like,
sounds good.
The art sequence on the third season intro, like, when it's got, like, all the rain coming off the buildings and all that. Yeah. Oh my god, like, no wonder I rewatched those episodes. Like, it's gorgeous.
It's beautiful, yeah. It truly is.
Violet Evergarden looks pretty good, but I still haven't finished it.
You still haven't finished it?
No, like, I start it, and then something happens, then I have to, like, walk away from the TV, and then I just totally forget about it.
Violet Evergarden is so good. If you actually have time to binge that, I feel like you totally should. It's like one of those where you have to binge watch it for you to, like, feel it. Yeah. It's so good, though.
Well, what do you think I do on weekends? Like, I binge anime. Are you kidding me? Although, like, I will always go back to the comfort animes, so it's always Sword Art. Usually seasons 1 and 2's iffy. 3 is kind of weird. It's usually like season 1 or like the Alicization arcs. Yeah, there we go. I'm like looking at Taryn for cues of like, we need to have a whole conversation about this. Or like Full Metal is good. Haikyuu is good.
Haikyuu is good.
Oh.
Haikyuu is good.
It's so good. It's so good. And then Komi Can't Communicate. Have you watched that?
I have not watched that one yet.
Okay. I literally am writing a whole, like, sample thing for class.
For class?
Yeah, of, like, a book report, because there's manga, you know? And my husband bought me, like, the first 9 of them for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, let's do a sample out of this. And it is such a good depiction of anxiety and social issues and gender-fluid characters.
Wow.
And I'm just like... I think one of the episodes I just cried because I'm like, I felt so seen because I'm like, I'm extroverted at school, but at home I'm like, don't talk to me. Like, blanket burrito. Leave me alone.
Like,
unless
I've done enough socializing today.
Yes. Like, unless you are my husband or my dog, don't talk to me. Like, even my best friend, like, she and I won't talk a whole lot after work because we're both like that.
You're both just done.
But, like, Komi Can't Communicate is freaking adorable. And the art style, it's not overblown. They're not trying to do a whole bunch at one time. Like, simple lines, good colors.
Wow.
But, and then, okay, speaking of comfort classics, this one does not, I have so many problems with this art. Yuri on Ice.
Oh.
I mean, people have feelings about that on a good day.
Yeah.
But sports animes are really, really hard to do right.
I feel like they really are. Especially with, like, animation styles.
Yes.
Animation styles and knowledge. Knowledge for that sport specifically.
Okay, but, like, they had people modeling the figure skating for that. So, but, like... It was so choppy on the screen. Like, there was such a lack of, like, it wasn't fluid. Mm-hmm. Which, with figure skating, it should be, right?
Yeah, it should be, yeah.
But we're never going to get ice adolescents. I know we never are.
Oh, like, no, that's been a teaser for so long. We're not getting that.
Mappa actually, like, when they do, like, their yearly promos, and, like, whenever they actually took Yuri on Ice out of, like, their poster. Yeah, it's not there anymore. So, like, it was there for a couple of years after the Ice Addo, like, announcement. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't there, like, this last year or something. And, I'm in a Discord server for, like, Yuri on Ice fans and, like, fan fiction and stuff. Because, like, wow. I read fan fiction and write some, but you will never, ever know who I am online. Ever. Talk about a life outside of school, it's all fiction. And people freaked out when they saw the poster. They're like, we have been betrayed! I'm like, well...
We've been betrayed for a while. I feel like we should have saw this coming, though.
That's a one-season wonder, and we're just kind of... It's like Oron. We're never going to get another Oron. They're never going to redo it. They're never going to keep it going. Mm-mm. But, like... There is fan fiction to fill the holes in our hearts.
Such strong feelings against not having a second season, but even if you do get a second season, I feel like it just depends on how they make it. Because the first season is so good that if they don't come up with a good storyline to continue
it's also so bad. It's so not PC, and it's so cringe. That I'm like, you have to have the cringe. You have to keep the art style consistent. But, like, also, there's a whole range of books. Pick when they go to Boston. Do something.
Yeah, I feel like
especially because, like, everyone's like, oh my god, Haruhi and Tamaki! And I'm like, she was supposed to end up with Mori. That was, like, literally, the whole beginning of it was...
Such strong feelings.
Dude, I have such strong opinions about the fiction that I engage with. Like, I think I went on a 15-minute rant about Cassandra Clare's City of Bones to my husband the other week.
Oh.
Because there's, like, 9 or, like, 11 books, and the intricacy when I tell you that all of these books and all of the main characters are interconnected, and you get to, like, the last book of the main series, and you, like, want to throw something because you're like, oh my god, where did that come from? Like, it was beautiful, and he was just looking at me like, yes, dear. Yes, dear. I'm like, I know you're tired of hearing about this, but, like, let me have this moment.
How does your husband feel about all this? Like, just, like, over the weekends, just binge watching this or, like, grabbing manga for you and stuff. Like, how does he feel about that?
He does not like going to comic book stores with me. He doesn't. Like, it's so funny because we'll walk in and everyone's like, oh, hey, what can I help you with, sir? And he's like, nuh-uh, I'm here for her. And they're like, you know, like, space buns and, like, Sailor Moon shirt and bopping along. And they're like, her? Like, shut up, yes. Give me the Ed Brubaker comics. But he puts up with it very good-naturedly.
Okay.
He just recently stopped working because he's going to school full-time right now.
Oh.
So, like, yeah, so he'd be working on either Saturday or Sunday. He's using his GI Bill to get a degree in, like, management or something.
Oh.
I know, right?
Wow.
That's another conversation for us for another day.
Another conversation.
Career advice, woo! But, like, I would just binge while he'd be gone. So, I think, oh my god, what's the last one that I picked up? Like, My Fairy Tale Marriage or whatever.
My Fairy Tale Marriage?
Yeah, where it's, like, this weird, like, it's like, turn of the century Japan, and, like, there's superpowers, but, like, you don't know that for the first episode and a half, because, like, it's not really, it's just there, it's just part of the world.
I see.
It's really weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Or, like, My Perfect Marriage, whatever it's called. It was recommended on Netflix, and I'm like, you know, there's 8-9 episodes, whatever.
Okay.
So, like, I'll do that, and then, like, he will happily buy me nerd stuff for, like, my birthday or for holidays, because I put up with his nerd stuff.
What's his nerd stuff?
World of Warcraft, Baldur's Gate. He grew up playing D&D, and if you ever mention D&D around him, he will insist that 3.5 is the perfect edition, and I'm like, honey, we're on, like, at least 5. Get with the program. Forza, he loves playing Forza. It's a racing game. And, like, he has his own stuff, like, oh my god, you know how you get those, like, hyperfixations of, like, you know, like the ADHD brain, or, like, the anxiety brain hyperfixation.
Yeah, everyone gets those every once in a while.
His right now is, like, when I say outdoorsy stuff, I mean, like, he wants to go to, like, survivalist school, and, like, it's, like, a weekend up north, and, like, you learn how to, like, you know, how to fish when you don't have any, like, tools around, or, like, how to find fresh water, and I'm just like, sure. I'm not going with you. I don't do the outdoors. I don't. Nope.
You don't?
No, I'm not a camping person. Like, if I'm gonna go out, like, if we're gonna go to the mountains, there better be a cabin involved. Like, I want my running water. Or, like, we're gonna go to the beach for the day.
Okay.
Because, like, there's a national park or there's a state park, something over by Morro Bay, which is where we like to go. So, like, his thing is he's watching all these videos, and the other evening, he, like, rolls over and he's like, hey, babe. And I'm like, what? I'm trying to read. I have Harry Potter fan fiction in front of me. Let me read. He's like, no. I just want to show you. Look at this really cool thing that this guy did. And he went camping, and then, like, 4 feet of snow fell overnight, so, like, his whole tent is, like, covered in snow. I want to go do that. I'm like,
no. I don't think you want to go do that.
It's like, I love you, but that is a you hobby. That's a you thing. Like,
yeah, like, you can go, I just won't be with you. I'll be in the cabin with running water upstairs.
Yeah, or, like, I'll be there in spirit. I'll stay home with the dog. She and I will sleep in. And then we'll go to Dutch Bros, and I'll make sure they give her dog treats.
I just had Dutch Bros for the first time yesterday.
I'm sorry, what now?
I had Dutch Bros for the very first time yesterday, now that you mention it.
What did you get?
I have no idea.
That's not helpful.
I know. My friend Castro got it for me. I gave her $20 after going to a recruiting event yesterday. And I said, where are you guys going? She goes, oh, we're going to Dutch Bros. And I was like, oh, okay, can you get me something? Because I was hungry. I was starving. I was so done.
They don't do
I was
snacks.
so tired. Yeah, they don't do snacks. There was no breaks. We barely, like, ran across the street to the Four Seasons and got, like, chips and just ran all the way back. It was something else. And then the next school got here, and we had to hide all the snacks in the bags under the table. We didn't want it showing. We were like, professionalism.
Yes.
And after we were leaving, she's like, oh, I'm going to go with Bertha to go get some Dutch Bros. I was like, oh, okay. Can you go get me something? I give her $20, and then she goes, what do you want? I was like, oh, I don't know. I've never been there. And then she goes, oh, that's not helpful. Do you like energy drinks? No, I don't do energy drinks.
Oh, don't tell me they got you a Rebel.
No, they didn't. They didn't. Thank the Lord.
Was it like
but
coffee? Or
it was like a coffee. It was a cold coffee. I think she said it was like straight. It's like a straight up coffee. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but it had like caramel at the bottom, and she got me Dutch Bros, and that was like the first time I've ever had Dutch Bros, just yesterday.
Oh my god. No. Okay, so if you don't like energy drinks, which, by the way, if you do end up going into the military, that will change. My husband was doing like 2 cups of coffee in the morning and then like 6 Red Bulls during the day.
Oh.
You will get hooked on caffeine. Life lesson, kids, if you go to the military, there's going to be caffeine involved. So if you do go, their black teas are really good, and they all have funky names. The Midnight is really good because it's like raspberry and blackberry and pomegranate flavors.
The Midnight.
Yeah, Midnight black tea.
That's an interesting name.
Yeah. It's not like there's the Double Rainbow, there's like the Vampire Slayer.
Oh.
There's like...
The Vampire Slayer actually sounds like one that I would get.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like there's, I think I get the Golden Eagle coffee. He gets the Double Torture, which is like 6 shots of espresso.
Oh.
I told you, caffeine dependency, man.
I have a question.
Oh.
About your dog.
Yes.
I have a very serious question about your dog.
Yes.
How does she act when other people pass by during walks?
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, you need to know my dog is dumb. She is so dumb. Okay. She tried to eat ants off of a tree during her walk the other week.
Off of a tree?
Off of a tree.
Oh.
So this is the type of dog we're dealing with.
Uh-huh.
Like, when she barks, which is rare, it's loud and scary, but she is so stupid. So, when she sees people, my husband actually took her for a walk the other morning, and we live over by Riverway Elementary. Mm-hmm. And all of the kids, like, oh my god, dog! And, like, they ran over to the fence to go see her, and she just stops dead in her tracks, and she's like, oh my god, hi. Oh my god, humans.
Just like they're giving you attention, oh my god.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And, like, sometimes when I'd walk her around the neighborhood, she'd see, like, yard maintenance guys or something. Mm-hmm. She'd literally, like, whoop, and, like, stop and stare at them and just wiggle.
Just wiggle?
Just wiggles. And I'm like, I'm not taking you over there. They're working. She's just wiggling.
Just like, I want to go over there. I know you're not going to take me, but I want to go over there.
Exactly. Like, you know when you're on, like, your character select screen, like, the character, like...
Oh, yeah, and the character's just, like, doing their pose and stuff, yeah?
Or, like, they're just, like, bouncing back and forth. Mm-hmm. That's her. She just is in a constant state of, like, I'm gonna wiggle. I'm gonna wiggle.
God.
I know, it's ridiculous. Like, when we used to live over by school, I would bring her over for, like, esports practice, and she just wiggles.
You do bring her over for esports practice?
I used to, but now that we live on the other side of town, I'd have to ask my husband to bring her.
Oh.
But, like, I will give you advanced warning if she's going to be on campus.
Thank you, because I do stay for color guards. I will be staying one. And if I stay here long enough and I get to see her, I will actually be really happy. I don't think you brought her your freshman year, did you? Like, well, my freshman year. I don't think you ever brought her to class, did you?
That was the year after the COVID lockdown, right?
I think so.
I might have brought her for, like, a GSA meeting or something. That might have been it, though.
Oh.
I know.
Like, I remember you showing us pictures our freshman year, I remember, and you were over here like, my dog, like, everyone assumes because my dog is like a pit bull and stuff, like, she's so mean, but no, she's like the sweetest in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll like show us pictures and stuff. I remember why I saw your dog. I saw your dog after school whenever you were having like meetings in your classroom with students. I remember seeing her there. She was so sweet.
Yeah, so that would have been like the GSA, like the club meetings and stuff, like where we did after school events. And she is actually, like, certified as an emotional support dog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Not, like, the super fancy, like...
With a vest and everything.
Well, no, we have the vest, but, like, there's different levels of, like, emotional support, and then there's, like, service animals, which requires, like, super specific training. She is both too old and too dumb to do that. And because she was a rescue, like, it's taken years.
Thank you for being on the Pioneer team, Miss Russell, and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Tea is piping hot.